Yeah. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? Well, am I centered? I think I'm centered here. Anyways, welcome to another great episode of the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Konavi Facebook page, and also everything under JCA under Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff. Man, we got a lot of the show. We got a lot to talk about on today's show. Um, yeah, Justin is back. He's our starting quarterback for the Lions game on Sunday at Ford Field on a road game against a very difficult, tricky Lions team who is number one in the NFC North and also has a good defense in front of him off a Bears win. By the way, on top of that, too, on a Thursday night, which feels like the Bears haven't played in so long, right? This is sucks. This is what happens when the team plays on a Thursday night and you have to wait for this mini bye week to get through. So it's been a while since we've seen the Bears, and hopefully they can carry on that win streak to 1-2, but I highly doubt it. But we'll get to that a little later. Bulls are in this discussion once again. The Chicago Bulls are up in trade talks. I played the Bulls GM for a bit. I played Mark Eversley and Arturas Karstinovis. I did my own little trades of how I want to blow up the Chicago Bulls and put them in their perspective. And we'll get to a little later that. First things first, Craig Counsell was introduced to the Chicago Cubs yesterday as the Cubs manager for obviously the Chicago Cubs. And yeah, it was a it was a it was a very surreal moment to see a new manager up there that's not David Ross. And would just like to thank him for everything that he has accomplished, not only as a player but also a manager. But short end of the stick, but that's business. Obviously, Craig Counsell is a better manager than David Ross. It's a guy who's been there, done that with most of his teams that he got. So, yeah, that's the Cubs talk for right now. But first things first, to move on. Like I said, tune in, guys. Make sure you also like, follow, share all of our comments, all our shows. You can also join me on the show too as well. The link is in the chat too as well. Come and hop on, join me to talk sports, talk about our Chicago teams. And also, what would you guys do about the Chicago Bulls? What kind of trades would you guys do? I'm gonna show you mine that I hear that I've done that's successful, right? And what the teams and who goes where and what, and see how it goes there. So yeah, you guys are more welcome to join me on today's episode. First things first, let's talk about our beloved Chicago Bears. And Justin's back, ladies and gentlemen. He is back for our Bears playing this weekend after missing for the last 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. So, Justin has been sidelined with a thumb injury, and Big Jim went 2-2 in those start. I'm looking what people might believe or might think that he was a little bit successful, right? 2-2 didn't look that. I mean, he had one horrid game coming from behind, but I mean, it is what it is. Multiple picks. In that game, multiple turnovers for sure in that Saints game. That's the one that basically we're all going to talk about Tyson Bagent. But outside of that, though, even when Justin Fields, those games look like they were supposed to be winnable games, right? Outside of the Saints one, which to me probably bet the most or was the most difficult one throughout the whole entire NFL schedule for the Chicago Bears. I mean, I put that as a Bears loss. In the beginning of the season too, as well, against the Bears and the Saints, simply because of the difficult road challenge on the road, the difficult. No matter if it was Justin Fields, backup Nathan Peterman, how even Tyson Bagent, it was going to be a difficult game all around because of the environment and where the Bears were going to go. So, I mean, he did good. He kept it going. I guess the conversation of being a backup, of him deserving that starting spot for the Chicago Bears other than Justin Fields. Look, he did what he did, right? He did what he's supposed to do. Make it interesting, make it enough where, he made it a conversation whether or not the Bears should trust Tyson Bagent, whether the Bears should, go on, forget about Justin Fields. Yeah, no, he made it. He made it how it's supposed to be. I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be for Tyson Bagent. Making it difficult, making it a conversation. I mean, he did what he did. A lot of people thought that he was better than Justin. A lot of people thought that he looked better than Justin. I mean, who's there to blame, right? But again, you could tell where his limitations were, and they were quite staggering. They you could tell. You just easily tell that, Tyson Bagent, he's a rookie. He's a rookie that played Division two, but also a rookie that played a lot of games. There was a lot of games where he looked good, he looked comfortable, he looked like he belonged for a minute or two. Which is, I mean, hey, it is what it is, right? I mean that you can't you can't complain. You can't say anything about that, right? It is what it is. You saw it. He got the ball out quick. He moved around the pocket. He looked like he had command of the offense. He looked like he knew what the hell he was doing in under center. So that was the one thing that I appreciate about Tyson Bagent. But there's a reason why he was playing Division two college, and I think it's kind of noticeable. It was pretty noticeable right there, right? To go to Tyson Bagent, and his numbers, 65% completion percentage, 859 yards, 3 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So, 1 touchdown to 2 interception ratio right there. Um, Rookie numbers. I mean, rookie numbers on a quarterback that wasn't expected to do a lot, wasn't expected to come in here, but it is what it is, and that's where we're at. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Fields is back. How confident are you? Is it rust? Is it going to be rust? Is he going to be well rested? I mean, what kind of Justin Fields are you going to wanting to look? I mean, this is it. This is Justin's last hurrah to make Ryan Poles rethink about what position the Bears are going to pick in those 2 first-round picks that they're going to have at the end of the year. 7 games left, 8 games left, 7, 8 games. I think we're in week 11 now. 7 to 8 games left. 6 games, I think, if you count the bye. I don't know how many games the Bears have, but these are it. These are the last games for Justin Fields to at least make Brian Poles think about, and maybe even Kevin Warren, to think about whether or not Justin Fields is that guy to make it into the next season. And not only just for next season, but the seasons to come right afterwards. The franchise quarterback, the guy that they should, give this boatload of money, which I hope not. But I mean, it is what it is because of the market. The the okay to go to, the okay to, like, hey, this is the guy, we're gonna sign him, and this is the position we're gonna go. I mean, how Marvin Harrison Jr. is out there, right? Everybody's like Marvin Harrison Jr. here coming up as the Bears. I mean, that's a good pick too as well. I honestly think, the trenches, another center, another offensive tackle, on left tackle this time, somebody protect Justin's blind side, or the quarterback to be. I mean, who knows? Whatever the position the Bears might get, another wide receiver, cool. You need his skills. Imagine Marvin Harrison and DJ Moore, two great wide receiver combinations right there. I mean, you could look at the Joe Burrow situation for the Chicago Bears and kind of mimic it, I guess, in a bit that the Cincinnati Bengals had their quarterback in Joe Burrow. Now I get it. Joe Burrow and Justin Fields, same way. No, you don't want to. No, not really. But on top of that, though, it's kind of like they knew that they needed offensive lineman off of Joe Burrow, who literally tore his ACL his season with the season prior to the Cincinnati Bengals. They got Jamar Chase, and they ended up going to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying Super Bowl caliber for the Chicago Bears. No, I'm not saying that. But you could look at that perspective too as well, and really think, like, you give them that number one wide receiver, and there you go. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., a guy who could, blow the top off and go down the line and do this and do that, and you know, the guy can, help out in that instant, right? Um, but again, who's going to rush the quarterback? You're gonna still need a defensive lineman somewhere somehow to rush the quarterback. You may get it in the offseason. Cool. I mean, you don't have to draft one. You can sign one and pay money. You still don't have to pay Justin Fields. Hell, even if you, let's say, if you do get the quarterback and the wide receiver and you get the defensive lineman, you don't have to waste the draft pick on there too as well. You just have to give up money. You kind of sort of reset the market too as well for getting a brand new quarterback in that rookie salary. I mean, that's another possibility too as well. That's another avenue to go to. I mean, there's many different avenues that the Chicago Bears can go through this offseason, or next offseason, should I say, and what they want to do for the future, because there's many, 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 many ways they can go, many different avenues, right? I just already mentioned two or three. That's the way it goes, and that's the way it's supposed to be for the Chicago Bears. I mean, I don't know, right? This is just me and my way of thinking, how I see things. But let me know what you guys think on the comments. I'm right here waiting for you guys. Hop on. Link is right here in the comment section. Hop on at any time you guys want. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok, on all social media platforms. Make sure you guys follow John Konavi, and make sure you guys like and share all our shows, and hit the little bell when our shows are live. So now that Justin's back, how confident are you guys in Justin Fields? overall. I mean, does he have to carry the Bears into playoff contention to keep his job? Does he just have to perform well, no matter if it's based off win and losses? I mean, does he have to win a majority amount of games? Does he have to win more than 2 games? What Tyson Bagent did in order for him to keep his job. I mean, those 2 wins can amount to 5, 6, 7, whatever the case may be. 8 wins. Is it doable? Is it can the Bears do it? It's tough to see, right? It's tough to say that the Chicago Bears can pull off. Now, stranger things have happened in the NFL. I get that. 100% agree. Right? The Bears can be something along those lines where they can make a playoff push. I mean, the Lions almost did it last year, right? The same Lions that we're facing this year with this team that we're coming up against this weekend started what 7-1 or something like that. Whatever the case may be. And they almost were 1 game away from making the playoffs. 1 game away. They flexed their game on a Sunday night against the Seahawks last year because they thought that they had a chance to winner goes in or whatever the case may be. Packers ended up winning, and they got eliminated from the playoffs, right? But again, back to the Bears. Is it possible? Like I said, stranger things have happened. Right? They got the Lions on the road, and they got the Vikings on the road for back-to-back weeks. I think next week is on Monday Night Football against the Vikings. So that may or may not be flexed. I don't know. Who knows? Then they got the Lions again after their bye. Then they're at the Browns, which is a difficult one. And then this is where it kind of softens up, right? Versus the Cardinals, versus the Falcons at Green Bay. Those are the last 3 games are right there. Bears go 3-0 there. Cool, right? We're already talking about 6 wins right there. If you could just steal 1, maybe 2 between the 2 games against the Lions, and the game against the Vikings and the Browns, which the Browns one's a little bit more difficult. I get that, I understand that, but if you could just find a way to split against the Lions, defeat the Vikings, you beat the Cardinals, you beat the Falcons, you beat the Packers. It's 4 wins right there. 7 wins right there. I'm not saying playoffs, but is it enough for the Bears to reconsider or think about or evaluating Justin Fields a little bit on what they have, right? They still have another year of control with Justin Fields next year, which is they're going to offer a little bit more money. They have the 5th-year option, so technically they still have 2 more years under Justin Fields. But is it time to pull the trigger on Justin Fields and trade him away with that second option, right? And like I said, it's technically 2 years of control of Justin Fields if you kind of want to give him that option, right? Next year, like I said, you got to pay a little bit more money for Justin Fields because it's his 4th year in the NFL. And normally, as the years progress, right, from 1 to 4, you're already hitting the millions by your 4th year mark. So again, if Justin goes 4-3 from here on out, so that leaves the Bears at 7-10, you double your wins from last season this year. That's progress, right? Now you're going to reevaluate if you're going to keep Matt Eberflus in that whole coaching staff, right? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? I don't know, right? But I'm just hypothetically just putting it out there, just veering into the future that if Justin Fields wins 4 out of the next 7 games, does he help himself in keeping the job as the Bears quarterback for next season? Them drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. and maybe another defensive lineman or offensive lineman with their second pick, which is more than likely going to be their pick, right? Thank you, Arizona Cardinals, for making that a little bit more easy for us. But again, what does Justin have to do with the Chicago Bears for him to keep his job for next season, to have him under the 4th year, not draft another quarterback and trade him away? Does he have to carry them to somewhat playoff contention? Does he just have to perform and have some wins no matter if they're in or out of the playoffs? Right? That is the beauty of this conversation that we're having about the Chicago Bears and Justin Fields, is like he has the opportunity for him to play for his job. He has the opportunity for him, or he has the opportunity to show Poles and Kevin Warren that he belongs as the Chicago Bears franchise quarterback. Even if he does go 4-3, 13, 14 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, between 12 and 15 touchdowns, maybe 5 to 6 interceptions, 4 wins along those games, winning the last 3 or 4 of the last 5 or whatever the case may be, whatever record you want to give the Bears, right? I'm just, again, putting out numbers there. Like, is that enough for Ryan Post to reevaluate Justin Fields? We're like, okay, let's give the kid a chance. We love him in the locker room. We love what he does. His work ethic is awesome. Yada, yada, yada. We'll go that way. But, I mean, at the same time, the same question goes, does Ryan Post also has his answer already about Justin Fields? Even if he does outshine his numbers or outperform or whatever number you want to, or just even say like, hey, like Justin Fields, look at him. I mean, hell, that Cleveland Browns game even looks a little bit more winnable now with no Deshaun Watson and how the Browns have been playing lately, right? That the last 4 games in the season, even though 2 of them are on the road against Cleveland, where Justin Fields got obliterated the last time he played there, and on the road against the Packers, who lost. They lost to them in week 1, but it hasn't been the same Packers team that we saw week 1 till now. And then the 2 games follow is the Falcons and the Cardinals, 2 dome teams who are also playing pretty not so good, although Kyler Murray is back. But that's another conversation. Like, the Bears have an opportunity to come out with 4 to 5 wins in that window. But time and time again this year, we've seen the Bears disappoint us time and time again. We've seen the Bears just lay an egg. We've seen the Bears, like, we don't know what Chicago Bears team is, but at this point, if Justin Fields can perform on a level that we know that he can perform and take the Bears to win those 4, maybe 5 games, possibly, Justin Fields probably played for his NFL career for the Chicago Bears for 1 more year in that franchise quarterback before they even give him that player option for his 5th year. And maybe they don't draft a quarterback next season. Maybe they do get Marvin Harrison Jr. and another left tackle or a defensive lineman, right? Maybe. The Bears are still looking for a 2nd-round pick. Justin Fields may be worth a 2nd-round pick at that time. Maybe even a 1st-round pick, depending how desperate the team could be. I don't know. But no matter what, Justin Fields, these next 7 games are very important to him in his career, whether he's with the Chicago Bears or not, and whether or not Ryan Poles has to make the decision on whether or not to draft a quarterback this upcoming season or this upcoming offseason, this upcoming draft. It's crazy. It's crazy we're here again. We're here once again because we thought that Justin Fields is going to be the answer for the Chicago Bears, and unfortunately that hasn't been the case. And unfortunately, we're back at this circle again where we have to find another quarterback. And then we don't trust our coaching staff and this coaching, and it's the endless circle of the Chicago Bears that might repeat again. History might repeat itself again. That the Bears are drafting another quarterback. That the guys are in this coaching staff are still going to be in the coaching staff 1 more year simply because they pulled off 4 or 5 wins at the end of the season to have the total of 6, 7, 8 wins possibly at the end of the season. And then next year they start off pretty crappy with the rookie quarterback, and then they all get fired. And now the quarterback is going to learn a new system the 2nd year. Eventually that cycle has to break somewhere somehow, and I'm really hoping and praying that the cycle breaks with Justin Fields here, that even though the new coaching staff is gone, the quarterback is still here and he's playing and he's playing for his job, for his next contract, his 2nd contract. Justin Fields is only 24 years old, so you could get something out of him. In the comments, Day, what's up? The answer goes, if he wins 4 out of the last 7 games, they might end up keeping him and Coach E for another season. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe they just might, if they do keep one, I think it mainly more is Justin, and Justin has to once again work with another offensive coordinator for the 3rd time in his 4-year career, which is, again, that cycle that keeps repeating itself about the Chicago Bears and the quarterback. I mean, Jay Cutler went to like 17 offensive coordinators and head coach in his 8 years that he was here, but I digress from that conversation. If he does win 4 of the next 7 games and ends up keeping Justin Fields, I think Matt Eberflus, how the defense has been playing lately, saved himself or is saving his football career, whether to be head coach again for the Chicago Bears next season or as a defensive coordinator for another team in the upcoming years. And you're right, if the Bears do go 4-7 If they win out 4 out of the last 7 games, or whatever the case, or how many games, maybe 5 out of the last 7, they end up coming back. Maybe, just maybe he comes back. But hey, that's pretty tough because how the turmoil of Alan Williams with the defensive coordinator this year in the beginning of the season, and the running backs coach with the inappropriate behavior amongst the building. Maybe that might turn them away from like, okay, yeah, you turned it around, Flus, but stuff internally with your staff happened, and we don't, and that just wasn't cool with us. That didn't fly with us. So unfortunately, we have to let you go. Again, it is a lose-lose situation in this point, unless if they let go of Flus, then they might draft another quarterback, and Justin Fields might be traded at the trade deadline, or at the or on draft day, or whatever, whenever, before, after, or before or on draft day. Justin Fields might get traded if Matt Eberflus does decide to stay, right? But let's just say that Justin Fields does outperform and he does stay, and they do ended up keeping him with a whole new coaching staff. I mean, you might as well see if he could turn out again the way he is, and maybe find a coaching staff that can play to Justin Fields' strengths, and then maybe later down the line, you still got to draft a quarterback. I'm still a big believer in drafting the quarterback every other or every third year, anyways, no matter if it's in the second or in the 6th round or in the 7th round. I think it's just it's an asset to have another quarterback. But again, digress from that conversation. A cycle, somewhere along the line, this cycle has to end of rinse and repeat. Draft a quarterback, and then that head coach and offensive coordinator gets fired that same year in their rookie year, and then another coach comes in and has to teach that guy, but he's married, he has to keep him because of Jim. Somewhere it has to stop. I honestly think it stops with Justin Fields. And with Justin Fields, if he could do another offensive coordinator and another head coach, and he performs there too as well, like, the kid's a real deal. The kid, I still believe in Justin Fields, right? Has he played up to it? No, I completely agree. He has not lived up to his expectations of what we thought he was going to be when he's coming out of Ohio State. But also, he has shown flashes. He has shown that he could take over games. He has shown that he could get the Bears to where they need to get at the end of the day. But the W column is where it happens, and the dude he hasn't even reached double-digit wins. I think he's only won 6 out of his last 20 some odd games. So again, like, what does Justin Fields have to do to make Ryan Poles rethink and reevaluate what he needs to do for the draft, or does he have the answer? If Ryan Poles has the answer about Justin Fields, we may not see Justin Fields next year. That's okay, I guess. But then also at the same time, that means that Eberflus isn't here. That means that, Luke Getsy isn't here. That means it's a brand new staff with a brand new team with maybe Drake Maye and Marvin Harrison. Maybe Caleb Williams, which I don't think he's going to fall. I mean, that gaps. The Bears have to get the quarterback first before they get Marvin Harrison. I don't know, maybe if the Bears draft 5th, then he might be up there. If they keep winning and goes 7, 8, 9, maybe he won't be up there anymore. I don't know. I don't know. What's going to be interesting is what the Bears are going to do. And if the Bears win out, win 4, 5, 6, 7 games, the Bears are going to pick maybe possibly outside of the top 10. Only have 1 pick inside of the top 10 and then 1 pick outside of the top 10. And if Justin Fields is the guy and Ryan Poles believes in him and they trade the number 1 pick for more assets and more trade value and so on and so forth, then cool. Justin's the guy. You get Marvin Harrison and you get more draft capital in the back end, and you still have your 1st round pick. Or you may use that 1st round pick to move back inside the top 10 and get you another defensive lineman, offensive tackle, or hell, maybe even another quarterback if it's still available. Probably. I don't think so. But I mean, the Bears, again, like I mentioned, they have many different avenues of where they could go with this. Keep Justin Fields. Don't keep Justin Fields. Trade a quarterback. Don't trade for the quarterback. Or trade the quarterback. Draft the quarterback. Don't draft the quarterback. Draft the wide receiver. Draft the offensive line. Like, the Bears have many different options, many different avenues this upcoming offseason, and it just all depends on how Justin Fields plays. And if Justin wins 4 out of the next 7, 5 out of the next 7, are a game out of the playoff contention, maybe in the playoff contention, maybe I doubt they'll be in the playoffs. Let me just stop right there and stop myself real quick. But still making the Bears be back more relevant and maybe, find themselves playing a lot more better. Justin Fields finding his groove, is a pocket passer or is passing the ball a lot more, double-digit touchdowns in the last 7 games with like single-digit interceptions. Like, it's only what we believe and we can hope for, right? But again, this is all now on Justin. It's not nobody else. It's not on Eberflus. It's not on Luke Getsy. It's all on Justin. And obviously, they have to put him in the right positions, right? I can't say it's just not all on Justin, but they have to put them in. They have to put him in the right position to succeed or to become that successful, because their coaching job is, per se, quote unquote, on the line too as well. Deontay goes back on here and says if they end up with the number 1 pick in the top 10, they got to move down a few slots and pick up Marvin Harrison Jr. They won't pick up a quarterback unless if they have the top two and top 5. Yeah, I agree. If they have the number 2, if they have number 1 and number 4, cool. Yep, Marvin Harrison, quarterback, and Marvin Harrison. But if it's Drankman, Caleb Williams, I only see that too as well. Or maybe, again, they could just still more value to it. Maybe they could trade one of those 2 picks in the top 5 and grab more value. I don't know. It depends. Again, like I've been saying, the cycle has to break somehow. It has to break, whether they draft a quarterback, they still keep the same coaching regime, they fire that same coaching regime the year after his rookie year, they bring in a new staff with the rookie quarterback that was now in his second year, has to learn a brand new offense. You learn with that, knowing that it's not their guy. Maybe he doesn't succeed, and then we're back again having this conversation of whether or not we're still drafting another quarterback at the end of the day. And then maybe not that this coaching staff is still competent or incompetent into teaching or to, and just to teach this new quarterback that they just drafted that they didn't get, that is not their guy. They have to give him the benefit of the doubt because it's the quarterback that the GM drafted the year prior before they came here. I don't know. Deontay goes, you're right. Majority on Justin. Offensive line is healthy. Nate Davis is back. Kevin Jenkins back on left guard. The center's still up for grabs, and it's a debatable. It's a question mark. It's probably the weakest link in that offensive line is that center, but the tackles are pretty decent. The guards are great. Receivers are healthy. Running back room is solid. Yep, they're all getting healthy back again. Khalil Herbert's coming back. Dante Foreman's kind of on. He was questionable. Roshan Johnson's back, who they drafted this year. And Tyson showed that it could be done with less talent, 100%. And that's the part right there. Although Tyson Bagent, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, whatever. But you're right, and that's the key right there. Tyson's shown that you could do it with less talent. And with less talent, that's him. Tyson is, he didn't have his right guard in Nate Davis, but it looked like it wasn't even a discussion. The only thing is Tyson Bagent can only do what he can. Rookie, doesn't have that big shoulder, big arm on the move, on the pocket side to side, but he read the game. What Tyson Bagent has about the mind of the game is what Justin Fields needs to make him be in that next level. And I think if you kind of mix those two together, we'll probably have, a top 10, maybe in conversation, top 5 quarterback with a talent like that, with the mindset of Tyson Bagent playing thousands of games and him having and grasping an understanding of the offense. But it is what it is, and that's a quarterback that's in the top 10, arguably top 5. Mix them together. That's just me. What do I know, right? But again, it's all on Justin, guys. This is it. It's all on Justin Fields. Justin Fields is playing for his NFL career with the Chicago Bears. Or maybe he's playing for his career to get traded from the Chicago Bears to another team, where another team could like, look, this is the missing link. Atlanta Falcons, like, we have Justin Fields. Look at the talent that we have with the wide receivers and the tight end and the running game that we have. We have a Justin Fields. We could, in this division that is wide open as it is in the NFC South, with Justin Fields, we could probably take over the division for the next 4, 5, 6 years. That's a possibility too. Justin Fields is not only playing for his professional career here in Chicago Bears, he's also playing for his professional career in the NFL too as well, where he could, again, value that pick that it could be definitely a second round pick at the highest. Maybe some desperate team out there can say, I'm willing to give up a first round pick for Justin Fields because I know he makes his team better. It's part of the conversation too, guys. That's also part of the conversation too, as well. Justin could win 4 and 5 out of the last 7 games, play out of his mind. There's a team out there that's like, we want him. If the Bears don't, we could give this many picks for Justin Fields for this year and next year. Hey, Bears, this is what we're offering for Justin Fields. What do you think? It's a possibility. And then the Bears can restart. The Bears can get their new head coach. They can get their new quarterback. They can get their new weapon. They can, do this all over again. And the cycle has been officially broken from the Chicago Bears. The cycle of, drafting a quarterback with the same coaching regime, firing the same coaching regime the year after, getting your rookie quarterback, bringing in a new coaching staff for the second year quarterback that you decided to draft, without that coaching regime and not being hand to hand, eye to eye, so on and so forth. Like, that cycle will officially be broken, or the cycle will still be broken with Justin Fields. If you grab another quarterback, another coach, another coaching staff, Justin Fields sort of kind of succeeds in that. And then you have to, give Justin Fields that 5th-year option because you still have 2 years left of Justin Fields of control outside of his player option of his 5th year. You definitely have him for 1 year guaranteed. You may have him for 2 and then make him play probably under the franchise tag, or, play something else differently for the Chicago. Again, different avenues. But somewhere within these next 2 years, this cycle has to be broken. Whether if it is Jim Harbaugh, whether if it is Ben Johnson, whether if it is, give me another coach or somebody that's hot off the market, whatever the case may be. I was listening to one of the Sports Talks radio show today, and let's just say if the Bears do have the number 1 pick, are you willing to trade that number 1 pick for Josh Allen? Top 5 quarterback? Pretty young. You still got 10 years left in Josh Allen, maybe so, give or take. Depending what his body can give, maybe 7. All the hits that he took in Buffalo. Josh McDermott, maybe another head coach. You could just bring him alongside him, slide him with him. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's the question that they were talking about. Are you willing to trade the number 1 pick that might be the Carolina Panthers for Josh Allen, and then let the Bills start all over again? I mean, that's the question. That's the question that was hot. That was hot in today's sports world talk out there. Professionally in the Chicago market today. I mean, I will think about it. It's a great discussion to have. I'll think about it. Josh Allen is a top 5 quarterback, but you're willing to Josh Allen 25, 20, 21, rookie, it's cheaper. You don't have to pay Josh Allen that much. But he is a top 5 quarterback, though. I mean, trade number 1 pick for Josh Allen. He is a top 5 quarterback, though. It is a conversation to have, but again, the Bears have many different avenues, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the one thing about the Chicago Bears. If Justin Fields just plays like shit for the next couple of weeks, or, the last 7 games, I mean, we know the answer. We can see the answer. We'll see the answer clear as day. The fog will clear. We'll see that they're going to reset. They're going to let go of Eberflus and Luke Getsy and let go of Justin Fields. Maybe trade him probably for a 3rd round pick or 4th round pick, something like that. Maybe to whatever team wants Justin Fields to know that he could get fixed, right? We can see that. We're definitely going to see if he plays like shit for the next 5, 6, 7 games. We're definitely going to see it, right? But if he performs better, and if he plays good, and if he has a great, 2-to-1, 3-to-1 touchdown and interception ratio, gives the Bears 4 wins, 5 max at the most, 5 max, but definitely for sure 3 to 4. Matt Eberflus may or may not come back. Who knows? But Justin Fields will play for himself. Either play for himself for another year for the Chicago Bears, or get traded for a higher value. I only look at this as a win-win scenario if that does happen for the Chicago Bears, because then you have a plethora of options. But this conversation and this only works if Justin Fields plays to the standard that I am putting him in right now at the moment. The JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Conavi Facebook page. And also make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms under the JCA Sports in all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok too as well, where we may go live. Guys, follow us. What is it? JCA_sports or JCA Sports _1 or something like that. Damn, I forgot. Let me look it up. We might transition to going live on TikTok under the JCA Sports. We will do that eventually soon, every once in a while. When something comes up, right? When something comes up sports wise, we might have a quick show on TikTok. So guys, make sure you follow us on TikTok too, as well as we do live shows from there, or going to do live shows from there, should I say. It should be exciting. Not only getting you guys who've been with us since day one. I appreciate you guys out there, Dante, CP, Josh, just to name a few. Caesar, that I can top of my head, John and I, and Jose. We'll love for you guys to hop on and join us on TikTok too as well. Follow us, that we might go live on certain shows instead on Facebook. So yeah, just follow us there. I can't find it. I mean, but yeah, I'll post it up, and once I find it, I'll let you guys know where to follow us on TikTok, so that way you guys can follow us live on the shows too as well. But again, just follow us there. Join us on TikTok too when we go live on most shows. But today I kind of want to talk to you guys here on Facebook, because there's a lot. I literally, in the last 37 minutes, all I've talked about was the Chicago Bears. I am going to move on to the Chicago Bulls a little earlier. I do have like a little screen sharing for you guys. I was playing Bulls GM for a minute on a couple of the trades that I do want to see, the Chicago Bears do for the future, blowing this thing up. Let's be honest, the Bulls have to blow it up. Okay, but first things first, let me wrap it up. Bulls, Bears, Lions predictions. I feel, again, I don't know if this is just me being crazy. Maybe this is just me wearing my Bears cap. I can't really take it off, because the one thing I really do want, and seeing this half glass full type of scenario, is the fact that I want the Bears to win this game, simply because it makes it a lot more easier, or it makes to believe that the Chicago Bears can be serious in keeping Justin Fields. But all I want is just the best for Justin Fields. I don't want him to have a shitty ass game, because it's not going to go anywhere. And the question of Justin Fields not being a Bears quarterback for next season will be up there. Like, that's going to be the topic of the conversation. Like I said, it's going to be difficult. So for me, I'm leaning Lions. I'm going to lean Lions, but I really do hope it's a close game. I can't do another blowout. I can't do another Bears. Justin can't play. Bears blow the Bears get blown out by the Lions. Like, I can't do that. But again, this is where I keep my Bears hat that I don't have on right now, but it's really, really tight, invisibly, that the Bears might upset the Lions. And I can see that, just the high of Justin Fields coming back, the way he can play, the way that I've seen Justin Fields play, I know he can do it to the point where he can beat the Detroit Lions, and winning, instead of 4 out of the last 7, it could be 5. Hell, it could possibly 6, because the last 4 games of the season, they're all pretty winnable. At Green Bay in the last game of the season, second to last game of the season against the Falcons, the first home game in December against the Cardinals, and the Browns, who again have a very good defense, may not be good by the time we go over there to Cleveland. I don't know, call me crazy, and I hate that I guess it's just the fandom in me that I'm thinking like this, but I simply can't. I simply can't look at the negative side of things, even though things are so wrong for the Chicago Bears. Like, I really, really want the, like, I don't want to say upset. I want to keep it safe, and I want to say Lions, and I keep my status what I've been saying about the Chicago Bears. Trying to win the 4 out of the last 7. When you face the Lions again at home, when you face a weak Vikings team on the road, when you face one of the worst teams in the Atlanta and the Arizona Cardinals, and a dome team in Atlanta coming to Chicago in the middle of December, and then you're playing against a very weak, depleted, a very beat up, emotionally, physically, and mentally Green Bay Packers on the road. That Cleveland game might be the only difficult game, because last time Justin went to Cleveland, he almost died. Matt Nagy almost killed him. But if you beat the Detroit Lions, I can't even say that like seriously. But but If somehow, some way they pull it, man, we're gonna be in an all-time Bears high that I don't think any of us can comprehend, and we might even think that the Bears can go undefeated from here on out because I can argue with you, or I can guarantee you, or I can prove to you, show to you 4 wins for sure. 5 wins, I can argue with you. But if you're telling me the Bears can win 6 or 7, 6 out of the last 7, or maybe even go 7-0 from here on out, 8-0 from last week's victory, stranger things have happened in the NFL that it will be shocking. It will be surprising. It will be crazy. Seen crazier shit in the NFL before. That's for damn sure. 4 they should win. Definitely. Definitely the last 3 games of the season, and at least one of them, and the Vikings on the road. For sure. For sure. For sure. You can toss one up. You could even give them a slight chance, depending how they perform this Sunday. You can give them a slight chance against the Lions here on the road. You here at home. You can. And then depending what Browns team we're looking at, I'm telling you, Deontay, the argument for 6 for sure is there. 7 maybe. The argument is there for 6 or 7 wins, but this is just wearing orange and blue on my sleeve and being excited. That's just me talking. But for sure, 4 they should definitely win. The last 3 for sure if they're playing very well leading up to those 3 games. All right, I'm done talking. Lions 24 20. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I just don't want the Bears to get blown out. That's all. I don't. But I hope the Bears win. Oh man, I hope the Bears win. I know today I was looking at the odds for the Bears, and the Bears are plus $700. I mean plus 700. I'm not gonna do it. Tempting. I'm not gonna do it. But I'm really, really hoping that I'm wrong, that the Bears do win on Sunday at Detroit. And if that happens, the show on Monday, well, from us is gonna be ridiculous. Ridiculous. All right, guys, moving on here in the JCA Sports Podcast. We've been 45 minutes talking about straight Chicago Bears. That's crazy. I didn't know I had it in myself. I think I did. But it is what it is. All right. So let's get right into it, guys. The Bulls are ass. The Bulls are ass. I don't know. Bulls suck. I don't even know what the score is right now for the Chicago Bulls. Um at the moment. I really don't. Last time I checked, they were losing. They're making a very small comeback on the Orlando Magic, but it still doesn't. 37 seconds left. What I got right here on one of the websites: the Bulls 88, Orlando 92, with 36 seconds left. 94-91 Magic from Uncle Day Day. Appreciate it. And so I was playing GM today, right? This is why I was a little late on today's show. I was playing 12 seconds left, Bulls ball. All right, cool. I guess the ESPN app here is just acting pretty slow right now. So I'm just on behind. So I'm just going to update it, see what I got. Yep, I still got the same thing. So Uncle Day Day is going to be providing me with the result for the Chicago Bulls. But again, I was playing Bulls GM today because the Bulls suck. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking about this. I talked about this with Uncle Day Day the day I went to WVON and his crew for their show on VON on Fridays. Make sure you guys tune in WVON Friday nights. Damn, I forgot the show. I am sorry, but if you put it on here, get a free plug from me, Deontay. But there was no point for this team to come back. There was literally no point for this team to be even a team this season. The fundamentals. Thank you. No point whatsoever. None. None. Continuity was the term of what the Bulls preached this offseason. The cohesive continuity, the team, the family, bringing them. They're ass. They're all ass. They suck. It's the same bullshit that we've seen the Chicago Bulls for the last 2.5 seasons ever since Lonzo went down. Now that year could be pushed to the side. That year could be like, okay, you look, this is what happened, right? So you could Zach just tied it up, so now we're at 94 odds. About time Zach LaVine does a little something, but that still doesn't give me any hope whatsoever to keep this team around. It doesn't give me any type of hope that the Bulls build this team the right way or just have this team play together. And as I am on the Gamecast for ESPN, and they're playing a video in the background. There you go. It I'm trying to be nice first before I go all off, right? So again, let me just go like this. I was playing the Bulls GM earlier today, before the show even started, and I was thinking to myself, like this is it. This is what the Bulls need to do. They have to blow this up. They can't keep this team for another season, or hell, they can't even keep this team till January. Okay, maybe until January because most of these trades that I do have are going to be what is it, 96, 94? Is that what it was? They scored a 2 minute. I got the update right here. Uncle Day Day from ESPN. They kind of went final. The Bull Magic won 96, 94 on the Chicago Bulls, which whatever. 4-8 now. But yeah, I mean that's what I got. Unless if there's something different. Bulls just lost to the Magic 96, 94. At least that's what I'm getting on at the ESPN website right here. Yeah, and there it is. There's Bleacher Report. There's ESPN. There's everybody on my phone coming up right now. Bulls lost. Magic beat the Bulls 96, 94 on a buzzer beater. That the Bulls are now 4-8. All right. So this is just very easy leading into my topics of the Chicago Bulls and how I, Eric Saud Avila, would be the GM of the Chicago Bulls and how I would blow this team up. Now I have 4 different scenarios here. With 3 teams, let me double check. 1 team, 2 teams, 3 teams, but whatever. 4 teams. 4 different trade scenarios. Patrick Williams just got himself traded. Aperture with the game winner. All right. So again, I'm playing Bulls GM right now, and this is what I was doing before the show started. And again, this team is ass. This team needs to get blown up. Everything needs to go. It's just this team shouldn't have been together this offseason. They shouldn't have. This was no reason for this team to come back and run it again one last time. I don't care what you paid so and so. I don't care how long you have DeMar DeRozan. I don't care how long you have Alex Caruso, Nikola Vucevic, and everybody else on top of that. Whatever Patrick Williams says, he thinks he's $200 million. Shit, I'm $200 million then. I could do better than Patrick Williams, I guess, at fucking 5'10", 310 pounds that I am. 5'10" and a half. That half does count. Okay. So I'm gonna show you guys what I've been doing. Now, there's a lot of sexy talk. There's been a lot of talk about Zach LaVine. Good. Let him get out of here. That's the first person I'll get out of here because that contract means nothing. That contract is just there. The Bulls are wasting money. Yes, I think I read a report that if the Bulls do end up trading Zach LaVine, that the Bulls his contract raises up 15% or something like that the Bulls have to pay. Cool. Pay it. Pay it. I don't care. Get out of here. He hasn't improved the team no matter how bad the teams were. He never improved any players around him. He never improved the team when he was on the team. The only important was about himself and getting the numbers. And it's very good to be the very good player on a very bad team that once the team gets good and you become 32nd fiddle, it shows. It shows that you're not that guy, pal. And you've never been that guy, pal. No, I don't care what you guys say. You can pump up your numbers all you want with a bad team. That's all you're going to be good for. Cool. Pump up your numbers with a bad team. But when the team comes good, that you know where you belong in the seat, and that's the 3rd or 4th best option on the team. And that's what happened when you got Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan when he came in. He was second fiddle, but then out of nowhere, somehow he became the third best player on that team with looking for a max contract, which is weird. So I'm gonna show you guys one trade on here, right? As I bring in this on here, I just want to see. So this is what I have: Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso to the Miami Heat. You bring in Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, and they give us a first round draft pick. Okay, this is just one. All right, I only did this because Miami could use Zach LaVine, could use a third best player on the team, possibly even second. Jimmy Butler's the alpha dog. Somebody else could come in second. Obviously, you give up a Tyler Hero, cool, great. Duncan Robinson, another small forward in here. All right, that's fine too. We need a shooter, somebody that can shoot the ball a little bit better than the players that we have now, because somehow, some way, the players can't shoot on this team. But this is my first trade option that I got. As you can see, most of these are successful. I'm about to show you because hell, I know how to do trades, I guess. But given the cap situation, longevity of the years, you kind of have to match the money cap wise. You can't go over a certain limit of whatnot. I threw in a first round draft pick simply because I think it would benefit this trade a little bit more. That the Miami Heat are now in a win now mode, and so if you give up a draft pick in the later years, that's great. You get Tyler Hero, somebody that probably won't come up to the play as much. Duncan Robinson. You get a point guard in Alex Caruso who can help you on the defensive side of the ball with the second team. Hell, sometimes even on the first team on crunch time, who doesn't really need the ball that much, obviously, because you have Jimmy Butler as an alpha dog there. And then obviously Zach LaVine might be, your three at that point, or your two, right? Because Jimmy's your three. It kind of works in a way that this Miami Heat team just got better off of this trade too as well. Do you lose some depth? Yes, but in reality, the Miami Heat got a lot better with whatever the Bulls can present themselves what Zach LaVine and Alex Caruso can present themselves for this Miami Heat team. So this is one trade I would do. I got obviously Zach LaVine, he's gone. Alex Caruso, he's gone. The money adds up right here. You still have 4 years of Tyler Hero in this contract with another 3 of Duncan Robinson too as well. And then we're gonna get a Miami Heat draft pick in 2028 because it's one of the most available and later down the road. So this is one of two draft trades that I have that involve Zach LaVine, or three, two or three. But this is one of them that involves Zach LaVine going to Miami Heat. The second one that I got here, once I find my mouse, is another Zach LaVine trade. This one's kind of a little bit more like, does it make sense? No, but this is just like a personal preference of mine simply because I want Zach LaVine out of here anyways. But Zach LaVine to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson, who doesn't want to be there anymore, who can't really, just needs a new place to be, and a point guard that the Chicago Bulls kind of really desperately need. And the Bulls give up a lottery protected first round draft pick to the Pelicans because they're giving up Zion Williamson. Now, whatever the New Orleans Pelicans want to do with Zach LaVine is what the Pelicans want to do with Zach LaVine. I really don't care. But this trade is really for me to bring Zion Williamson to the Chicago Bulls. Does this make sense? Maybe in a fan perspective, it does, right? But as an organization where Zach LaVine really needs to go to a team where he's not the main guy, or maybe he wants to go to a team where he is the main guy and just needs a fresh start somewhere else because he can't do it anymore with Chicago. Well, why not you trade two disgruntled players, two disgruntled superstars who are in max contracts? Just swap them, maybe add another player and a draft pick in between there, and then you get the result that you want. Maybe Zach LaVine, talks himself to the organization, say he doesn't want to be there. He wants to go to Miami. He wants to go to Los Angeles. He wants to go here. I really don't care. Whatever Zach LaVine says to the New Orleans Pelicans is them in New Orleans. But this, to me, gives me a guy who, I get it, he struggles to stay healthy. Literally, big guy, big dude, carries a lot of mass with him. Okay. But it also gives me a player with a bigger upside than what Zach LaVine can provide for me. And I think that's what I was looking for in this trade. A bigger upside, and knowing that I'm be okay for the future for the next 5-6 years 4 to 5 years. I can't say 6, but for the next 4 or 5 years with Zion Williamson, and a guy that just really desperately needs a new place, a new basketball home. Why not here in Chicago? You could be the man of the city. Newtown, again, we always claim for us here in Chicago that this is the third biggest market in the country. So you give him that, the lights, the United Center, Michael Jordan, the banners, all that stuff. Maybe he might play a little different, maybe not. Maybe it motivates him to bring a championship back to Chicago because he knows that Chicago is veered on basketball and the basketball culture here in Chicago means so much to the Chicago Bulls fan base and just to the city of Chicago in itself. So this one here is just a personal one. Like this is personal. This is me saying Zach LaVine just I don't care where you go, deuces. I'm getting a player that could potentially be better than what you did here in Chicago. And I'm getting a player that I want. I'm getting a player that, can suit us better, right? Can suit better, whatever the words, the terminology I'm trying to go, but it fits. It fits what I'm trying to do here. I'm getting you out of here. I'm getting a player who could be better, who has a higher potential than what you can provide to me right now. And we go from there. And then we get a point guard simply because the money has to even out. And that's where this one comes in. So I mean, the money just balances itself out. We give up a first round draft pick simply because there's no other player to go along with to go in the trade. So we give up a draft pick, a first round lottery protected draft pick to the New Orleans Pelicans. Obviously, that becomes a second round pick in the future, whatnot. So this works. Obviously, I'm 2 for 2 in drafting and trading. So I seems to know what the hell. I mean, at least I know what the hell I'm doing. Right now, this one I'm about to show you, I don't have the same success rate, but there's a reason why I don't have the same success rate, which I'm about to show you. This is DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso going to Los Angeles, and then we get D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Woods, Jackson Hayes, right? Now, the only reason why it says it's a failed one is simply because the salary increases, and most of these players can't be traded until December 15 or January 15, up until the trade deadline is right above it, and then there's a percentage of salary taxes that the Los Angeles Lakers, have to pay certain of these players, right? As you can see, Jackson Hayes can't be traded till December 15. Wood can't be traded 3 months because he was signed, so he's eligible to trade after December 5th. So you can read right here what I try to do. DeMar goes back home out west. The Lakers get back Alex Caruso, who was beloved over there. And then we get D'Angelo Russell, who we need a point guard, a playmaking point guard, a 2 in Austin Reeves, who just skyrocketed out of here. We get a power forward that we can trade Patrick Williams with maybe another team or so, whatever the case may be, and then a very young center in Jackson Hayes here. So this one says failed, but for reasons of contract stipulation. So if I do this same exact trade on my birthday, January 15th, if I do this trade on my birthday, it's going to say success because it all evens out. There is no draft pick going anywhere. There's nothing to go anywhere. This is just simply contract money going one way to another. Simple. You blow up this team, right? And I do say, and let's just say this trade happens, right? Let's just say these next 3 trades happen the way they do. Facebook, JCA people, listen to me. Hear this out. If these 3 trades, these last 3 trades, because the first one was kind of like, okay, toss up, and then you kind of, not really give yourself a lot from DeMar DeRozan only on a 1-year contract, right? You kind of have to sweeten up the deal a little bit with that one, maybe give up a draft pick or 2. And I don't want to go that down. I didn't want to go that far down. But these three are my 3 moves where you could blow up this team, and then maybe this team just gets a tad little better with Billy Donovan. Maybe, but just hear me out. Facebook people, Facebook family, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everybody out there, comment on here. What do you guys think, chat? This is trade number 1. This is trade number 2. That if after my birthday on the 15th, once all these stipulations and recently signed stuff gets out of here, this will become successful. Look what I'm about to do with this third one, where you guys. This is where I know what the hell I'm doing, and this is when you really know that the teardown is really complete. Where you send Vucevic to the Mavericks, you send a second round pick, obviously, and then you get the youngest squad in here. It fits. This to me is the best possible way you can blow up the Chicago Bulls and then have a young squad, and then you can just control it however you want. You get your young players with some decent stars or some decent players in return. You get some young players in that. You may lose a draft pick or two, whatever the case, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But if this is trade number 1, this can easily be trade number 2 once the contract negotiations and the dates pass by. That this would be a success more than a fail. The only reason why it's a fail is because of contract stipulations, right? That if these 2 trades work, this one works too. A big man, a double-double, a guy that gets the boards, that kind of need the Dallas Mavericks really need that interior help to help these second chances. And Nikola Vucevic is a walking double-double. And it's a team that's kind of in a win now mode situation. I think I just rebuild the Chicago Bulls. I think you give me this GM hat, give me somebody, and I guarantee you I could turn this team. If I could do this, if this is how you do it to manage trade machine with the cap situation and give me the contracts and whatnot, like this is how you turn around the Chicago Bulls. I think I could do it. I think I did it, ladies and gentlemen. I think I turned around the Chicago Bulls. Trading Zach LaVine to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson. Trading Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan for D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Woods, Jackson Hayes, and then trading a second round pick and Nikola Vucevic to the Dallas Mavericks for Derek Lively II, Josh Green, and Jaden Harden. I think I did it. Call me the next Bulls GM. Call me the next Bulls GM. Hey, Jay Reinsdorf. I'm right here. If I can do this, and this is very simple to you, and you give me whatever you want, all that stuff I talked about you, I promise I'll say I'm sorry. I mean, I meant it, but I'll apologize for a job. But I can literally turn around I could turn this Chicago Bulls team around in 3 years with these 3 trades. Because I don't think if these trades happen the way they do you even trust this front office even to blow up this team and start all over? No. They got Halliburton wrong for Patrick Williams. They did the best that they get with Lonzo Ball. I'll give them credit for that. The credit where credit's due. Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic, all that cheese, all that jazz, everything that's around that one, I give them credit where credit is due. They did a wonderful job with that. But when it comes to scouting talent, Patrick Williams over Halliburton, nah. But these are my trades for the Chicago Bulls. It starts with this one. I get right. This is my second trade after my birthday. DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso going west to Los Angeles Lakers. You get them on a win now mode with this team. Get a decent mid range shooter in DeMar DeRozan. You could handle without LeBron James. Alex Caruso, who was beloved there, get him for 2 years. I got myself a point guard, a shooting guard, power forward, and a center with Hayes, Woods, Reeves, and Russell. And then I get younger with Green, Hardy, and Lively Jr. or Lively II. I get depth. I get younger. I lose some picks. But what I lose in picks, I gain in depth, and I get younger. And I traded away the 3 big time players that the Bears signed within the last 3 years. Call me a genius. I'm a fucking genius. I'm going to play this highlight. I'm going to play this real. So let me know what you guys think, but this is my trade. Zach LaVine to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson and Kyra Lewis Jr. DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso for D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Wood, Jackson Hayes. Obviously, it says failed because by my birthday, this will become success. And then Nikola Vucevic, and I send out a second-round draft pick for Lively II, Josh Green, and Jaden Harden. This is my way to fix the Chicago Bulls to get younger, to get better, and to get rid of those contracts. I mean, obviously, I gain a big one with Zion Williamson, but it's Zion fucking Williamson. Like, who the hell doesn't want Zion Williamson? And I get he can't stay healthy, or he's struggling to stay healthy. He struggles to stay healthy. There you go, Eric. That's the way you want to go. He struggles to stay healthy, but you get a bigger upside with a younger, more athletic player in Zion Williamson than you do with a little much older Zach LaVine. So again, for my reels that you guys are going to see, I will trade Zach LaVine to the Pelicans and a first-round lottery protected draft pick to the Pelicans for Zion Williamson and Lewis Jr. I will trade once this becomes successful on my birthday on January 15th. DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso for D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, Christian Woods, Jackson Hayes. And then to literally blow this up and get younger, Nikola Vucevic to the Dallas Mavericks with a second-round pick for Lively II, Josh Green, Jaden Harden. That's the JCA Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Uncle Data. I really appreciate you. Patrick Williams got himself traded. I'll work on this and see what I can do with Patrick Williams. But it's not going to be in line. JCA Sports Podcast, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and on TikTok. We will provide you guys with sports content as much as we can throughout the week. Make sure you guys follow us on TikTok, as we might go live on some of the shows. Or I will go live on some of the shows on TikTok, so make sure you guys follow us there at JCA_sports on TikTok. I appreciate you guys for hopping on, for joining me today. I will see you guys on Monday to talk about Bears, Lions, and hopefully something else interesting of the Chicago Bulls will happen then. Until then, guys, see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Go Bears. Hopefully we get a W. I know we're not. See ya.